Mr. President, I'd like to make the motion informing the public we're coming out of executive session. Discussion by council, board, or other action pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46(5), subsection A, subsection 2, sections pertaining to collective bargaining, litigation, and work sessions pertaining to collective bargaining and litigation. In particular, ROCKCLIFF Farm Limited Liability Corporation versus Town of North Smithfield. CA number PC 17-0962. Please let the records reflect that no votes were taken.
One vote was taken, Mr. President.
One vote?
One vote on that item, and one vote on B. One vote was taken on each item.
Both, I thought.
One for each item was taken.
Okay. Also, let me amend that a vote was taken into sealed minutes. That's a motion.
It's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bartamoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Smolenski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes.
Mr. President, under B, discussion by council board or action, in particular, disposition of public held property where an advanced public information will get detrimental to the interest of the public. I would like to just put this to the back of the agenda, awaiting arrival of the principal that we may have some further dialogue with.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt.
Private for me, Mr. Solicitor.
So for this particular item, at this point, one vote was taken and she sealed the minutes on this item. There is a public agenda item that trails that.
So would you craft the motion, please?
Yeah, just a motion to let the record reflect that with regard to Rhode Island General Law 42-46(5)(a)(5), regarding discussion regarding the disposition of public held property, specifically 27 Main Street, one vote was taken, and that the minutes be sealed.
Okay, that's the motion.
Second. Second. Roll call.
Mrs. Bartamoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Smolenski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes.
So when, Mr. Solicitor, so when we get to 6, that's when we'll...
That's what we trail.
Got it, thanks.
Open forum pursuant to 42-46-6. If anybody would like to get up and speak at open forum, this is not a public hearing on the other issue, but if anybody would like to get up on open forum and speak for whatever issue that did not sign this, anybody not sign this that wants to speak? Okay, Cynthia Roberts.
Hi, Cynthia Roberts, 49 Week Street. I just want to double check. I was planning on giving an update on the work that we did for the community engagement related to the comprehensive plan, which I see is later on in the agenda. Is it fine to give the update now if I'm not able to stay through those other agenda items? And
I'm going to continue that to, I'm going to table that and the next council deal with that.
Okay, so shall I not give that update then?
You don't have to.
Okay, thanks very much. And I just also wanted to say thank you related to the communications on the naming of the field, because after last week and more information came out, and then there were things shared more publicly, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Joan Quirk?
John.
John? I'm sorry. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Sorry, sir.
That's okay. John Quirk, 38 Alpine Way, Statesman. I just wanted to get up. I understand this is the last meeting before the changeover. So I wanted to get up and thank Mr. McGee and thank you, John, for your service to this community. I appreciate it very much. And I think as a community, we owe you a tremendous amount of gratitude for what you've done over the years. And I wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Can we do something about lowering his tax bill? Okay, moving on. So is nobody else wanted to get up and speak at open forum? Everybody's good? Okay. Make a motion to close open forum at this time?
So moved.
So, roll call. Oh, somebody say something? No? I don't think Yeah, roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara? Yes. Mr. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes.
Six.
No, five.
Five.
I think 5 can be continued at this time.
Yeah, we're gonna continue 5 because we, until he comes back with us.
Exactly.
Okay, and we're gonna continue 6 right now?
Yeah,
But not to
make a motion
another
to.
date, just to
Yeah,
the end of
Just to the end, yeah, I can do that. All right, let's move on. Before we move on, well, no, we're gonna continue this until, we don't.
Later tonight.
Until later tonight.
Not, you skipping number 5, or are we talking about number 6?
All right, number 5 is gonna be continued. We don't know what date, because we don't know how his negotiations are gonna go.
Right, so we just want to have it on the, what I'm saying is I want it on the agenda to continue it, that's all.
On the next agenda.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, make a motion to continue item number 5, discussion by council vote or other action on ROCKCLIFF Farm Limited Liability Company versus Town of North Smithfield, CA number PC 17-0962, to be continued to a date to be determined.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes. I'm going to skip ahead before we move on to the next agenda. I want to skip ahead to item number 13E. Chief, can you come on up? Discussion by council vote or other action on awards of bids for fire department communication equipment. Mrs. Zowski?
We have before you requested approval of 3 bids. One for an award to, under a master price agreement, to Cybercom for the purchase of a new 800 megahertz console to be installed at the St. Paul Street Fire Station, along with 5 radios, and the installation of those 5 radios to be able to start the process toward upgrade of our current communication system to get it up to modern times. And you know, this we budgeted $86,000 in the capital plan with an intent to do this over 2 years. Chief Chaudier and his deputy and others in the department, along with input from the police department as well as EMA and the state resources, state EMA resources, have concluded we've shifted. We originally had a proposal to go forward with an upgrade of the VHF system. And we have concluded that that would have been the wrong way to go, and the proposal before you would be bringing us down a path that is the 800 system. That is what we have our police department on today, and what communities around us have also gone to really elevate the fire communications circumstances. We currently have many areas of town where our fire and rescue personnel can't be reached. It in itself is a hazard, in my view. This is something that's been discussed for many years, and thanks to this council's judgment in the budget process, we've put enough money aside to be able to bring this to you tonight. The numbers before you actually exceed the amount that's in the capital plan, but the finance director and I have identified the additional, a source of the additional $15,000 from funds that have been held over from prior years. We can afford to do this, do it now, get this started, and we'll also enable the chief the opportunity to strongly pursue a grant for acquisition of additional radios to be able to expand this system and optimize it. There will be more that needs to be done. We will still need the other half of the allotment that was planned in the capital program for next year. And there will be needs further to put repeaters in buildings, our high school, for example, probably our middle school, to make sure that when our resource officers and the fire department are in those buildings, they can communicate with one another, people inside and outside the buildings. I fully endorse this and indicate to you that I think this caps an effort by this council to do some great work to move our fire department forward. I think a department that had been told no so many times that it just stopped asking. And you have, under your leadership, we have re-roofed the St. Paul Street Fire Station. We have purchased a new rescue. We've got a new engine coming in within 10 days. We've recently approved some additional protective equipment, clothing for the fire personnel. I'm proud of all of that. I hope you are too, and I hope that we can have your support for these three acquisitions. For the purchase of the console, for the radios to come from Sunny Communications, and the installation to be by, I'm sorry, I don't know what time. If you would, please.
So we're looking at $117,172. Is that the number?
No.
100,676.52.
It's a total of the three.
All right, so
numbers.
we've got Sunny Communications,
That's 6,000, Chief, that number?
Sunny
6823,
Communications is 68,
23.
yes.
Then Rocky Mountain,
No, those are just the other bids for those
Okay.
radios. That's, we
Okay.
had, the large bid is an MPA based,
Okay.
and then we gave you the three bids that we got for the acquisition of the radios,
Okay.
the three quotes. We only need the lowest of that, that's Sunny.
Alright.
And then the final one is just the $800 for the installation of the equipment to be installed by, that would be purchased from Sunny.
And this will take care of all the dead zones.
we know it'll work.
It'll give us 98% coverage according to the coverage maps from the WESTERLY personnel that came to meet with myself and the town administrator. Over the course of time, and during some of the testing that the deputy and I have been doing, there are still some areas within the town that we do have problems with, predominantly inside buildings. Right now we have an issue with the ice rink. The high school is an ongoing issue, both with us and the police department as well. I have put in for a federal grant, Assistance to Firefighters grant, for $356,000 to upgrade to the latest, the greatest mobile radios and portable radios. And within that, I also have put in for four vehicle repeaters. If we have those, if we get that grant funding, and we're able to get all that, and we have those vehicle repeaters, that will solve all the problems that we have in the different areas of town.
But the dead zones aren't because you're in a building, it's not because you're in an area that's blocked or something.
Correct. It's within buildings. I mean, most of our work is done inside, so that's why we know, we have these dead spots inside buildings. But these vehicle repeaters, should we get that grant funding, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
But in the interim, what we're proposing tonight is going to get us up and running for now. It'll improve our system 100% from what we're doing right now. It's become a safety issue at this point for us.
So I'll make a motion then to approve the $100,106.76. Is there any change with that?
106,7652.
For the Communications Dispatch Council, the portable radios, and the installation of portable radios.
The installation is for the mobile radios. I think that was just a typo.
Typo. That's a motion.
Second.
Discussion, anybody? Roll call.
Mrs. Barnamoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Get back to the top of the agenda. Number 7. Smithfield Town Council sitting as a zoning board of review to consider the petition of John Russo, applicant, to subdivide Plat 4, Lot 144, and to request an extension of the business highway designation from Plat 4, Lot 425 through Plat 4, Lot 144. This property is located on the westerly side of Victory Highway, Route 102, approximately 300 feet north of the intersection of Victory Highway with Main Street and Mount Pleasant Road. Additionally, the project proposes access within a portion of the Carlton Avenue right-of-way. This is a public hearing, and at this time, I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved, Mr. President.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. Roll call.
Mrs. Barnamoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes. What do we have up here?
Mr. President, let me just make a note for the record. It appears that there is a typo that was caused of miscommunication on my part. The council is not sitting as a zoning board of review. They're sitting in their capacities as a town council.
Okay.
This is a recommendation, a request for a zone change, and the council has that power. So I would just ask that that be noted for the record. That's a typo as a result of my mistake.
You get that, Deb?
Yeah.
Okay. So noted. You want to begin? Yes. Just state your name and...
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Council President, council members. My name is... Let me start again. Good evening, council president, council members. My name is Timothy Dodd. I'm here this evening.
One more time.
Third time. My name is Tim Dodd. I'm here this evening representing John Russo, Sr. as the applicant. Good evening, council members.
You're going to, can we move the,
You just bring the, why don't you move the podium instead of the podium, the tripod there. No, not the podium, the
your pod, your
tripod.
presentation.
All right.
And if you hold the mic over to the little closer, I don't think it's carrying.
Can you guys hear me?
Now.
I'm Tim Dodd. I represent John Russo. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the mic issues. The application that we have this evening is really in two parts. It's a unique application. We're looking for a change to the zoning map to extend the business highway portion of the Russo property. And we're also seeking road access approval for ingress and egress on Carlton Avenue. Now, at the outset, I would just note that the advertisement that appeared in the newspaper noticing this hearing was incorrect. The map that was put in the paper, for reasons that I don't know, was a map that was inconsistent with any of the materials that we submitted to the town clerk's office. So if I may have a moment just to turn the map around and show the folks, and I think you all have seen the materials. What was in the newspaper contemplates that this entire portion of the Russo property be zoned highway business, or business highway. In fact, that's not the case. Along Victory Highway, John Russo already has Hometown Auto Body. This area that is shaded in is the portion which we're looking to have a zone change to business highway. Not the entire piece. The shaded piece is business highway. That's what we're proposing. That's what we're asking for, a change of zone for that portion. Next to this shaded portion, you'll see there's we've already received minor administrative subdivision approval to make that sort of hourglass-shaped lot. That unique shaped lot is to accommodate the proposed building of a home for John Russo Jr. in the back portion of this newly created lot. You might ask, why is the lot configured this way? It's to attempt to satisfy zoning requirements for zoning frontage. The way to do that is to create frontage along Victory Highway. Not to have ingress and egress from Victory Highway, simply to provide land which would be the frontage. So the only place we could get the frontage is on Victory Highway. Ingress and egress to the proposed single-family residence would be along Carlton Avenue. Those of you who are familiar with Carlton Avenue know that it goes from Victory Highway back and services approximately 4 or 5 homes currently. At the end of Carlton Highway, it sort of ends it as a dirt road, which we are seeking to get permission to improve the portion of Carlton Avenue. It's about 125 feet, which is currently dirt, and it's not improved. Part of our